888.
Late Louis on his way.
Well, now that he's announcing high school football games,
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's preoccupying him.
They put him up in the booth last Friday, or 2 Fridays ago, I think it was. Was it last Friday?
Western Beavers' first game.
Yeah, Western Beaver. Yeah, they put him up in the booth, and Josh didn't want to leave.
Yeah, I know. He
did a
loved
nice
it.
job.
He said he loved it.
Yeah, it was great. So we enjoyed it. So, well, first off, today's a somber day on both notes. Number one, today is 9/11, 24 years ago, Scott. Hard to believe,
really.
And then that's one of those things everybody remembers where they were that day when that happened. And then also the heinous act of somebody assassinating Charlie Kirk yesterday. So we got both of those things. And Roman, while we're waiting on Josh, I noticed you shared a picture yesterday of Charlie Kirk and his family. What's your thoughts about what occurred yesterday?
Well, I got a text from a couple of friends in the afternoon when I was in my office in Chippewa, and unfortunately, the text was a video, and I didn't know what I was watching at first, and then I saw what happened. There's so much. It took a long time for me to process some of it. A lot of the first thought is you just are filled with a lot of anger, and I didn't want to feel that. Just because you know that is what drove the act that caused what happened. And, man, I tell you, every time I think about him over this past 24 hours, I woke up in the middle of the night last night thinking about it. And the same thing, I just think about his wife and his kids. And this man, what he stood for, whether you agreed with him or not, that's not the point. He stood for his faith and his family and for his country. He shared open dialogue and open debate regularly. He did not attack people in a vitriolic fashion. And they went after him because they couldn't stand what he was doing. These individuals who commit these sorts of acts, they're evil. Their hearts are rotten. And the fact that we are where we are right now as a country, with what just happened yesterday, I honestly, just thinking about that picture again just brings so many thoughts to my mind. And honest, I start to well up with tears a couple times. Even driving here this morning, I was thinking about it. We're in a bad spot right now. Yeah. And but I also can tell you that evil doesn't win. Mm-hmm. And after what happened yesterday, there's going to be 100 other Charlie Kirks.
Yeah, I saw the video. It was sent to me the same way, and I keep over and over reliving it myself. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know Charlie. I never met him. He does a show here through the Salem Radio Network. His show's normally live 12 to 3 every day, and we had a show from 9 to midnight every night. I always put on a good show, and I never heard a bad thing from anybody that ever, had come in contact with him or his family. Excuse me. And it's just this political violence has just got to stop.
Yeah, it has to stop. And the rhetoric around this stuff, when you start to paint a particular side in a particular way, it creates an environment of anger. And, social media is no help to this situation. That's one of the things I noticed yesterday is, I've tried a lot lately to cut back on my time spent even on any type of media. And I just noticed those hours yesterday, wanting to regularly see what was going on, and just the reactions, immediate reactions of people there. It makes you want to react in a way that it's not healthy. Yeah. And the anger that is built up. And it just concerns me about the state of our country right now, and especially on the eve of 9/11 and thinking about now here we are on 9/11. There's so many emotions running through me today. And I can tell you I did not sleep well last night.
For me, it was kind of, I do watch just because I try to monitor the comments that people make on our social media posts. So, because some people get out of hand. And it was not surprising to me, but yet surprising of the hate that was still on the posts about what happened to Charlie yesterday. And it was just, I just could not believe all the hate and people pretty much saying, well, he asked for this, and he talked about this in 2022 and said that we need gun violence, and I can't get over the hate that is there, and it's like I don't even want to look at it, but I got to make sure that people aren't cussing and yelling at each other and calling each other, because they do it all day long. I'm sure you've seen it on social media posts, and it's just it's ridiculous where we're at right now.
It's awful. It's awful. Representative Kales joined us, and I know that he and I had a conversation about this yesterday, and he had some good insight as well. And Josh, what are your thoughts on the situation?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Late Louie, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I apologize. I was at a ceremony in Beaver at the high school.
Okay.
Every 9/11, the ROTC there puts on a wonderful ceremony, and I was honored to be the guest speaker today. Tragic. That's my thought. You have a husband, a father that passed away in a tragic, horrific situation. And, the answer to a lot of the questions that we have, how do we get out of this? How do we make sure that this type of action doesn't happen anymore in our society? Where are we going as a society? Frankly, the answer is exactly what Charlie Kirk was doing, exactly what he was all about, sharing the truth in love and engaging with people where they are, having robust debates, serious debates with real convictions, and being able to have those conversations and disagree in a way that can lead to constructive buildup, and that's what Charlie Kirk's legacy is that here's a guy that would go into hostile territories in college campuses where people have very different viewpoints, and he'd engage in civil debate, and they'd have civil conversations about different policy points, whether it was social issues or economic discussions or international affairs. That's what we need to get back to. And what Roman was talking about and what you were talking about, social media, it cuts our ability to do that, because it just becomes pot shots, and it just becomes about getting clicks and being getting viral and situations like that, where what we really need to do, and maybe even relearn as a society, is to have robust conversations and to do it in a way that's civil, and to listen to what each side is saying. Charlie Kirk, the guy went into different circumstances, went into environments that conservatives aren't usually welcomed into, and he stood his ground, and he stood on his convictions, and he convinced people, and some people he didn't convince, but he was changing minds and hearts. And he will go down as a legend and as a trailblazer in how we should be engaging in political dialogue. And the fact that somebody, and we still don't know who, there's actually apparently an FBI press conference occurring, I think, at 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So right now, maybe we'll get more information on that as the morning goes. But the fact that somebody thought the only way to silence him was to put a bullet through him is repugnant and is absolutely disgusting, and it's not going to work. Like what Roman said, I mean, it's just it's going to motivate people to be bold, to be courageous, to keep doing engaging in civil conversations, and to make sure that we're doing things the right way.
And let's be clear, this stuff is terrorism. Mm-hmm. This is domestic terror, political terrorism, because this is trying to silence someone who is standing up for his beliefs and his faith and his family and his country. And again, whether you liked it or not, the only way to try to beat the guy is you shoot him. What a coward these people are. It's embarrassing. Like it is the greatest hissy fit you could possibly throw. And you do this and you take away a man from his family because what? You disagree with him? Did your feelings get hurt? Are you serious?
I agree. And for you guys, especially with being in the spotlight and being state reps, I mean, thoughts have to go through your heads.
Yeah.
So, Scott?
I'm looking. There's nothing on that FBI thing yet, but I'll
Okay.
keep an eye on that. But
Okay.
how do you raised the point about the rhetoric? How do we scale back? How do we collectively work on where it's okay if we have disagreements, but they don't reach such a level of vitriol or you don't agree with me, you're automatically enemy. You're anti this or that. How do we? Is there any ways that I know it's not an easy answer for anyone, but any thoughts on what you'd like to see happen?
I think we need to. I mean, today's September 11th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the charge coming out of September 11th, 2001, was to never forget. And, you know, as a sophomore in high school, hearing an announcement, a vague announcement over the air about what was going on, and then walking to a free mod and seeing on the television the second plane hit, it's impossible to forget. I mean, I was talking to kids today that were born a number of years after September 11th, and just to describe it to them, it was like the world stopped for a period of time. It was similar to how the world stopped when the COVID pandemic hit, but this was immediate. There was no buildup. There was no speculation of what could happen. It just happened, and everything just stopped. And you know, I don't think as a nation we've forgotten September 11th. Our law enforcement methods have changed. How we handle things at the airport has obviously changed. There's not been a major terrorist attack since then of that nature. How we fly has changed. I mean, there's a lot of things that we have done to ensure that never happens again, and that we don't forget what happened, the lives that were lost, and the bravery of our first responders on that day. But what I'm concerned that we are beginning to forget, and that we can never forget, is September 12th. Because on September 12th, we weren't Republicans, we weren't Democrats, we were Americans. And we came together as a nation to face the worst adversity that we have seen in my lifetime. And we came together in solidarity. And it didn't matter if you were from the city or if you were from the country. It didn't matter if you were Republican, if you were Democrat. We were all Americans on that day. And we need to face adversity today in the same way that we faced it on September 12th, that there are things that we will not put up with. Look, we're going to disagree. There are debates that we should have, and there are robust debates that we should have. The things we talk about as legislators, the things we talk about within our culture beyond the legal field are important issues, and people have very strong convictions on both sides of those. But there got to be something that binds us as a nation. There has to be something that we are a part of that is bigger than ourselves, that is bigger than our political ideology, and that is that we are Americans. So I think what we really need to be remembering in the context of what occurred yesterday and today being September 11th is we need to remember September 12th. We need to remember President Bush throwing the first pitch at Yankee Stadium, Sammy Sosa running around with an American flag. I remember the football game that week was played on a Saturday instead of a Friday because of delays, and our team running out with an American flag. I think that's what we need to remember, and it's we need a reality check. I think that certain things as a nation collectively we have to decide we're just not going to put up with, and we have more in common than we have apart. And if we can't do that, it's going to lead to more tragic situations that we're dealing with, like we dealt with yesterday.
All right, you guys want to throw on your headphones? We have a call. Good morning. You're on with the reps.
Oh, let me cue you up. I'm sorry. Okay, hello. You're on with the reps.
You there?
Yeah. Hey, Georgie.
Yeah, good morning. How you guys doing today?
All right. How are you, sir?
I know it's a sad day, and we got to pray for his family.
Amen. Yeah.
Must keep up his agenda with his group and the younger citizens. Charlie was a good Christian man, and we got to keep this rolling. We can't let his death just wither away like we always do. We got to keep this up, gentlemen. And I have a question whenever you guys go into the question segment. So you want to finish with this, and I can call you back?
If you want, you can just do your question now.
Okay, my question is, as you are representative for Pennsylvania, how are we going to stop these pirates from taking our homes, title thieves? Is Harrisburg doing anything about this? Because I got to buy an insurance policy to protect my home that I worked my hiney off for. Is there anything going to be happening that you guys can help us out without having to buy these insurance policies? And I know, Frank, we talked about this before, and you don't think it's going to happen. Well, I know some people that it did happen.
Okay.
And what are we going to do, gentlemen? I'd like to have an answer for that because, you know, I'm 77 years old. I sure don't want to be kicked out of my house. So I appreciate an answer any way you can give me, okay? Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your time. God bless you, and God bless America, and God bless 9/11 that sacrificed their lives for us. And thank God and praise God that he takes Charlie in heaven with him. Thank you.
All right, Georgia.
So I missed the first part. I had a hard time understanding. So we're talking about property taxes
Deed
here. 'Cause
theft. Deed
theft.
There's been a huge uprise in people just being able to access people's information, take loans out on their homes that's not theirs, and then and basically steal the money, and then they're left with their hand in a cookie jar, and they're told, hey, you got to pay this back, and they don't have the money to pay it back, and they lose their homes out of it. It's been a huge uptick in crime, and I think it's something that's new. George and I talked about it previously, but it's something that's new that's out there.
Yeah, I
like how you throw it.
I could give. So go. We are looking at changing certain rules as it relates to how the recorder of deeds goes about their business to ensure security in that regard. It is something that's a relatively new problem. It's incredible. It's almost surreal when you hear the stories about how these things happen. People get their deeds stolen from underneath them without any type of notice or no awareness whatsoever. So yeah, how the process is done, it's a process that we've been using for the last 200 years. And it's something that we're looking at as far as how to reform it to ensure security.
Yeah, and it's not just that is something on the table with many other things. We're talking about scams and outright theft that's occurring, especially among our senior citizen population. We're learning of new things like this every single day now, and I know that the Attorney General, Dave Sunday, is his office is working on these sorts of things as well. And really, a lot of this information, because Josh said, this is new. Yeah. So there are considerations and things, but we've got to figure out a way to deal with this and, adjust the processes so this sort of thing can't happen. It shouldn't be that easy for these people.
Well, you got that going on now, and then you got the one text message everybody's getting about pay your toll to Pennsylvania right now, or else you're going to suspend. And then now they have the other one where the phone or the electric company or the utility companies are calling you and saying you need to pay your bill to me right now, or else we're going to shut your electric off. When obviously that's not what's going to happen. But they talk people into believing this.
Yeah. So. We get, I would say, at least once a week at our office, we get a call or an email in regards to some sort of scam that someone's trying to take advantage of someone in particular, maybe someone living by themselves or who's older, and that stuff's scary. When you get those kind of notices, as someone who, like me and my wife and our family, we look double take, triple take at some of the emails or texts we get, because you're like, you start to learn how to spot them, but they're good now. They're really good at it. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, and there was it's just hard to tell what's real and what's not real. Right. And the stuff that is real, you end up, ignoring, and then it ends up putting you into trouble. It's a difficult situation as far as those types of fraud schemes.
Go to a break with Rapping with the Rips.
St. Barnabas thanks you for listening to Beaver County Radio. Got kids? Too much to do? No time to cook? Download the McDonald's app today and get dinner delivered straight to your door from DoorDash. McDonald's makes it easy for you and your family. Download the app today and get exclusive deals and rewards. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Beaver Valley Catholic Prayer Breakfast is Western Pennsylvania's premier gathering for spiritual renewal, fellowship, and evangelization. Join keynote speaker Father Scott Seathaler, guest speaker and state representative Roman Kozak, and master of ceremonies Dan Leroy for an uplifting morning that will feed both body and soul. The Beaver Valley Catholic Prayer Breakfast is on Friday, September 12 at St. Monica Church in Chippewa Township. Doors open at 7 a.m. with a delicious plated breakfast served promptly at 7:30. For tickets, call 724-846-7540. All proceeds support Catholic education through the Angel Fund of Beaver County. For more information, call 724-846-7540 or visit the Facebook page for Beaver Valley Catholic Prayer Breakfast.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30. Right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMVA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM.
Moon Township Ford, representing the neighborhood Ford stores, proudly presents Military Expo. Sea, air, land, space, Pennsylvania Patriots serving you. Moon Township Ford, representing the neighborhood Ford stores, invites you to attend the special free admission event on September 20th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Beaver County Airport, 35 Piper Street, Beaver Falls. See interactive displays to showcase several types of military equipment, all designed to increase awareness of the missions of all military service branches and to aid in recruiting and retention. The Military Expo, Saturday, September 20th at the Beaver County Airport. Presented by Moon Township Ford, representing the neighborhood Ford stores, where friends send friends. Also sponsored in part by McClellan's Roofing, Community College of Beaver County, and Moon Township Honda.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Close-up and touch impressive displays of current military equipment with personnel from all branches of service available for live demonstrations. Food and drink available. The Pennsylvania Military Expo, Saturday, September 20th. All presented by your friends at Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
What if you could meet the future you? The one with the degree, the dream job, the confidence. This fall at Community College of Beaver County, step up to the mirror and see what's possible. Whether you're fresh out of high school, changing careers, or returning to finish what you started, every class and campus experience brings you closer to who you're meant to be. See your future. Start it here at CCBC. Visit ccbc.edu/fall25.
Stop out this Saturday to the New Swickley Township First Responders Fall Fest at Green Valley Park from noon until 8:30 when the fireworks start. There will be activities for all ages like a car cruise, foam party for kids, police, fire, and canine demos, as well as a hot dog and pizza eating contest and area food trucks like Al's Pizza and craft vendors. There will be something for everyone this Saturday at the New Swickley Township First Responders Fall Fest from noon until the fireworks start at 8:30 at Green Valley Park.
Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation are on the move, and they're coming your way with the best Beaver County has to offer. You're listening to Beaver County Radio, proudly presented by Fry Transportation.
Noah Haswell's in studio now with news headlines.
All right, thank you, Scott. Good morning here on this Thursday, September 11th of 2025 at 33 minutes after 9 here on Beaver County Radio. I am Noah Haswell. We will have a complete Beaver County Radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. An official in Utah says police are working to identify Charlie Kirk's shooter who jumped off a roof and fled after firing the fatal shot. Authorities say Kirk was killed by one gunshot fired from a rooftop at the Utah Valley University campus Wednesday. Police say Kirk's killer appears to be of college age and blended in with the college population on the Utah campus where the shooting occurred. Kirk was an ally of President Donald Trump, who praises the Turning Point USA co-founder as great and even legendary. Vice President J.D. Vance is set to visit with Kirk's family in Salt Lake City. According to a release today from Highmark Health, Allegheny Health Network has launched a new paramedic response unit in support of independent EMS agencies in Beaver County. This paramedic response unit will help out agencies that are local in providing emergency medical care that is enhanced to the residents of the Beaver County region, and it is called the AHN PRU Medic 957. New Swickley Fire District in Beaver County is where the AHN PRU Medic 957 will be stationed. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report that 19-year-old Brandon Booher of Beaver died last night after crashing his motorcycle into a vehicle along Route 51 in Chippewa Township. Booher was driving too fast on his motorcycle on Constitution Boulevard at its intersection with the Chippewa Town Center, and according to Chippewa Township Police Chief Eric Hermick, Booher was seen doing a wheelie at excessive speeds on Route 51, ran several red lights, continued to drive at an extremely high rate of speed, and struck another vehicle. The vehicle that Booher hit with his motorcycle was driven by 27-year-old Corbin McHale of Monaca. McHale was transported to Allegheny General Hospital after he got injured from this crash. Booher was pronounced dead at the scene. A woman named Fabiola Gergerich of Harmony Township brought up an important question during the audience participation section of the Beaver County Commissioners' work session in Beaver yesterday morning regarding the ICE raid in Ambridge that occurred on July 31st, 2025. Gergerich asked the question to the Beaver County Commissioners about if the people from ICE are really bringing in criminals that are coming into the United States illegally or not. According to Beaver County Commissioner Chairman Dan Camp in regards to ICE. And a car crashed into a tree last night in South Beaver Township, which ended up killing at least one person. The crash occurred on Route 168, close to the Rainbow Veterinary Hospital in South Beaver Township. The vehicle that was involved in this crash hit a tree, which was confirmed by 2 WPXI by emergency dispatchers. According to Beaver County Chief Deputy Coroner William Pasquale, this crash is under investigation.
We have the camp audio now, so.
All right, here's what Beaver County Commissioner Chairman Dan Camp had to say in regards to the ICE raid in Ambridge on July 31st, 2025.
The sheriff's side of it is that they will not be doing raids. They will not be doing anything along those lines. They want to be able to have access to the database so that if there's a warrant out for an individual in Beaver County, that they have access to see if that person is an illegal immigrant or a legal immigrant.
And AAA is currently letting college students and their parents know that they need to review both their coverage for insurance and policies for insurance before they move to their respective college campuses. Some tips that AAA provides regarding both homeowners and renters insurance for college students and their families, and things to keep in mind for college students as they go to their respective campuses, can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com.
All right, it's now 9:37 a.m., and we want to pause for a moment of silence as this is the time that the third plane hit the Pentagon on 9/11 this morning. So join us in a moment of silence as we honor those that were aboard that plane as well as everybody else on 9/11. Just do the weather.
I got it.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
The stretch of beautiful weather continues. Today we'll see mostly sunny skies with highs near 80 and overnight lows around 51. Sunshine tomorrow will reach highs of 82 and lows in the mid-50s. And another sunny and summer-like day expected on Saturday. We'll see highs near 83 and lows around 60. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Thursday, September 11th of 2025 at 38 minutes after 9. We've got a temperature of 63 degrees currently in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
We're back with Rapping with the Reps. State Representatives Josh Kale and Roman Kozak in studio. Phone lines open 724-843-1888.
So we've been talking about, the heinous act of what occurred yesterday as well as 9/11 this morning. So let's kind of move on and talk about some of the good things that are happening in our communities. Both you guys at Hoaxtown Fair opening last night. Was it last night? Yeah.
Wait, Hoaxtown Fair opening?
When was that?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
I can't remember
Yeah.
when it was. Yeah, that's right. I was off, remember? One of the last thing was last night, but talk a little bit about that.
Well, I saw Roman at the Big Knob Fair as well.
Hoaxtown, Big Knob Fairs. I mean, that's kind of the wrap up the summer, entrance into fall. It's yearly tradition that's just wonderful for the community. It's so great to be with these people and to see how much work these individuals put into the fairs and their stories as to why they do it is the type of things that make this country so awesome and this region so awesome. I'm talking about they remember as a kid being with their father or mother or grandparents and coming to the fair and getting to show an animal or getting just be around the festivities and how much that meant to them and was a part of their childhood, and that in turn caused them to want to volunteer and spend countless hours planning and preparing the entire year round. Because while we get to go and enjoy those fairs, these individuals are already planning next year. And so that's just a really cool experience to see the queens at the fair, to see and hear their speeches and to listen to all the work that they've put into it and their leadership experience and what they're going to be doing over the next year in that position. It's really a fun time, and it's an encouragement in light of sometimes you question and wonder how we can come together as communities, and the fairs are a great example of that.
Yeah, Washington County has a big fair. There's also other smaller ones. Westmoreland County has a big fair. I think Butler County does too. So Beaver County has two separate fairs, not quite as big as one central fair, and I like it better. It's not nearly as commercialized as those other fairs are. It's far more true to the community with community engagement and involvement, and it's just wonderful to see, especially the kids that are coming up and are a part of the process and are starting the tradition that their parents and grandparents and probably great-grandparents started many, many, many decades ago.
Gentlemen, we have a phone call if you want to put on your headphones, and we will go out to the phone lines. Hello, you're on the Beaver County Radio Morning Show, Rapping with the Reps.
Good morning.
Hey, Deborah.
How are you?
Good. How are you this morning?
I will be talking to you in a little while. I'm okay. Good morning, Mr. Roman and Mr. Kell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Roman.
Yes.
Do you remember me? I volunteered at the Trump office down in Bridgewater.
Yes.
And then I volunteered at the Republican office when it was on College Avenue in Beaver. And I was the one that put the signs together.
Oh, yeah. I remember you.
You
How
remember
are
who
you?
I am?
Yes, I do.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Today's a little bit of a rough day, but God is good. So.
Amen. That's true. But you know what? That was just ridiculous what happened yesterday. But you know what? I want to ask both you and Mr. Cal. Hi, Cal.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What the heck is wrong with our governor? And number two, is there any way you guys as senators or House representatives could pass that budget.
Yeah,
10 seconds.
A calm silence across the room.
No, I could. Those two questions are actually, I think, linked.
Yep.
I think the problem that the governor has is the reason why we haven't gotten to the point where we're settling on a budget. I mean, the governor should be playing a central role in ensuring that we have a responsible budget, and that responsible budget is due June 30th, but he's been checked out from the process, and that's caused a lot of delay in this process. Look, the governor seems more interested in press conferences and TikTok videos than he is in actually governing. And it's a tough thing to do, to get in the middle of a legislative debate and to get in the middle of a budget negotiation. But that's the type of leadership that our Commonwealth demands right now. It's a remarkable budget season. I've been, this is my 7th budget. And usually when there is an impasse, there is a sticking point. And there was this a couple weeks ago, this alleged sticking point with mass transit, and then the governor comes out in the press conference and says, actually, that's not an issue. We're going to take care of that. That's off the table. And so, well, wait a minute. It's off the table. I thought that was the entire reason why we were having a budget impasse. It's not. The real reason is the spend number. Right now, the governor is proposing in his budget the spending about $6 billion more than the state brings in revenue. And that proposal, long term, would have devastating consequences for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The reason why we can make it work this time, Pennsylvania, we are not allowed to incur debt to fill budget gaps. There's only certain very limited reasons why we can incur debt. The reason why we could pull it off this year is because we still have a rainy day fund, but that rainy day fund will be gone in a couple of years if we keep spending the way the governor is proposing that we spend. And what that really means long term is that your and my taxes are going to go up because we can't be fiscally responsible with a budget today. So the Senate Republicans are holding the line on it right now, and they are attempting to get a responsible budget. The governor and the House Democrats are pushing to spend way more than we should, and that's where the impasse is at this point in time. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about this. It's just starting. We're just starting to hear from institutional stakeholders around the Commonwealth, school districts and local municipalities, counties, townships, cities that are starting to realize, like, hey, the state funds that we receive, this is going to end up being a problem if we don't get something solved quickly. So it's going to become more of an issue here as the month goes on. And if it goes on for the rest of the year, it's going to really become a serious issue. But at the end of the day, we need leadership. And we need leadership, yes, in the House, yes, in the Senate, but ultimately, the governor needs to step up to the plate and lead and bring forward a responsible budget.
Josh.
Yes.
Why don't you take the governor out to the woodshed and put him in his place?
Deborah.
And with that said, you guys have a good day, and do your part and try to do the best you can, okay?
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, just real quick, just to paint a simple picture, like just to make it as practical as possible for everyone. Imagine you have your household budget, right? And people say, oh, well, government's not your household budget. Well, it's a really good way to talk about it. So you have a certain amount of money you have right now, and you have, say, $6,000 in savings. You think, I'm going to go buy a couple of really nice televisions, and I'm going to go sign up for a handful of subscriptions, and I'm going to go do all these things beyond the budget, because guess what? I have savings. Mm-hmm. But those things have reoccurring costs, especially those subscriptions, right? So you can dwindle down your savings, but what do you do when the money runs out? And what's going to happen is one side of the aisle who's pushing for all of this spending is going to say, well, you can't cut services to people. You want to cut services. It's like, no, these were reoccurring costs that you set us up to fail on. And so what's the only option? Raise taxes. And we don't want to do that.
So how much is this going to, and I know we talked about this last month, but somebody asked me to bring it up the other day on Mike's show when I was filling in. And how much is it when it comes to education and a lot of the schools back in school? And I know, like I said, we talked about this last month. How much is it going to affect them and the money that they get?
So right now, it won't, not yet. If this goes on much longer, it will. School districts are going to start having to make decisions. They can get low interest loans to fill gaps to wait in the meantime, but the longer that goes, the more interest they pay on those loans, the more of a problem it becomes. And obviously, budget has to get done. I mean, there's a constitutionally mandated date, June 30th, that we just flew right by, that unfortunately the last number of years has become more of a suggestion for Harrisburg as opposed to a constitutionally mandated date to get a budget done. I think some part of the solution is putting teeth to that mandate. And there used to be teeth. Up until about 2010, it used to be that if we didn't get a budget passed, the legislature didn't get paid. I think we ought to take it one step further. I think the AC ought to be turned off in the Capitol, and we shouldn't get paid until a budget's passed. I mean, it's nonsense. It's the most important critical function that we as a legislature do, and we cannot do what Congress does. Congress, about 30 years ago, decided that doing an actual budget was too difficult, so they just keep passing continuing resolutions, which basically just plugs the status quo and increases the debt spending, and they do this over and over again. And when you do that, you are giving up your Article 1 power. Your Article 1 is the legislative powers, and our power is to control the purse. And if we just keep giving money over and over again, what happens is you lose your ability for oversight. So in Congress, you had USAID run amok and all these other things that were happening that should have been caught through the appropriations process when they're discussing how much revenue is going to go towards certain programs. But because they just scramble, and we're heading up to another one here, I think at the end of the month, for another continuing resolution, there is no robust appropriation process, and that's a real detriment to the legislature, because our main function, or maybe not the main function, but the most important function, is getting a responsible budget and managing the public fisc well. It's a public trust, and it ought to be managed in a responsible way, because it's not our money, it's the taxpayers' dollars. And we should be providing oversight as the representatives of the people.
Is there a light at the end of the tunnel at this point, or is it just still?
So the governor said June 30th that we're very close. I think a week or two ago he said we're very, very close.
He's not around.
Well, I mean,
plain and simple.
I do think that cooler heads will prevail on this.
Okay.
But, you got to get 102 people to agree on it. You got to get 26 senators, 25 if the lieutenant governor is in agreement, but 26 senators to agree on it. And you got to get the governor to agree on it. So there's a lot of different things going on here. There's a lot of different areas of the state that want different things. It's a complicated process. That's why this process is supposed to start in really February, March with committee work, and then going into April, May, getting it teed up to pass through in June. And that's how it was when I first got into the legislature. But unfortunately, the last couple of years, for whatever reason, it hasn't been that way.
Are there any particular bills that you guys are co-signing on, or that you're looking to push or help support to get through? Not related to budget?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things we're always trying to work on. I can think of some things even down to allowing firefighters the ability to stop traffic if they need to. There's a crazy thing in the transportation code right now that we were looking at that was brought to my attention actually by a local magistrate, and that amongst the people that are allowed to stop traffic in an incident or something like that, firefighters aren't listed. It's like police.
I didn't realize that.
And then we just, as kind of a society, I think we just acknowledge, like, hey, if a firefighter, and they just do it, and good for them, because that's what they're there for, especially in emergency situations. But it was like police officers, funeral directors, traffic controllers who are licensed, but there was nothing listed for a firefighter. So something simple like that. You got to be kidding me, because there have actually been, if someone would blow through a situation where a firefighter's stopping traffic, they can't be cited for that because the firefighter's not listed as someone. Oh. So that's apparently this has happened already here in Beaver County, where this is brought before the magistrate. It's like, well, the code doesn't say that. something crazy like that, right? A bigger one, another bigger one for me, and beyond other ones we're working on is we've talked about it before, but is Nicholas's Law in regards to the individual who lost his life at local facility here because he was abused by his caretaker, and the statute of limitations ran out, even though they had video evidence and everything to put this guy away. The feds came in and took care of it, but the state statute of limitations ran out, and I think that statute of limitations, especially for people who are nonverbal, care-dependent individuals, there shouldn't be one. These people get justice, and they need justice, and just because a year or two runs out doesn't mean that person shouldn't be held accountable.
All right. Just to give you guys an update, I've been monitoring with the FBI situation. They said they have recovered what they think is the weapon that was used to shoot Charlie Kirk yesterday, and they also recovered some shoe wear, and there's a palm print and forearm imprints as well on in that area. So hopefully they were able to find this person and get him quickly, because not good that he's out and about still too. But we got to take a break.
We have like a 4-minute break, so we have like 90 seconds. You guys just want to anything else you want to talk about of a shorter note?
Catholic prayer breakfast tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow I have the opportunity to speak at the Catholic prayer breakfast. It's Beaver County's first Catholic prayer breakfast. Steve Catanzarite did put this all together with Father Schreck. And after his experience, I think, in D.C., saying we should have something like this in Beaver County, which I think is great. Our nation needs prayer more than ever right now. Prayer does change things. And I think the timing of that is important. I'm going to be talking there, and I wrote my, I guess you could say, speech or talk yesterday, and after I finished it up, the situation with Charlie Kirk happened. And the theme of the Catholic prayer breakfast is unity and hope, or hope and unity. And man, I'll tell you what, timing of that and what I'm going to say tomorrow, I probably will go off script a little bit, but ultimately our hope is not found in what we humans can do at the end of the day. It's not in politics. It's not in our governor. It's not in our president. No matter who they are, hope is not found. It's found in God. So that's ultimately what unifies us, and we need to keep that in mind.
I just want to give a shout out to all the first responders out there, law enforcement on 9/11 today. You know, we remember 9/11, and the lights were turned on the law enforcement and on the firefighters that day, and those gentlemen performed with absolute bravery. But let's not forget that they do it every day for us to keep us safe and to make sure that we can go about our days without fear of terrible things happening.
You're here.
All right,
gentlemen.
See you again next month.
Thank you.